Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and check out all my other reviews, as I do a lot of Switch reviews on this channel. Today I am talking about Graveyard Keeper. I'm gonna explain everything you need to know about this game before you decide on buying it or not. I remember this game from way back. Actually, I was in touch with the developers in the beta phases of this game. I actually got to play it on my PC over a year ago, and I immediately knew that this game was a game in my style. Graveyard Keeper is a graveyard-themed simulation RPG by Lazy Bear Games, published by Tiny Build. It is out on PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and the Switch. It is a game where you simulate a graveyard keeper who are responsible for burying dead people, keeping the graveyard nice and tidy, and holding a weekly ceremony at your church. This is a grindy game. You collect resources and you build with them. It's a complex crafting system, which I love. Story. The story is that you play as a character who dies in a car crash in the modern world and is magically sent to another medieval world where you're set with the task of being a graveyard keeper. There is the main story about how to return to your normal world, and also a bunch of other smaller stories in the form of side quests. So you're thrown into this medieval world, you have to keep the graveyard nice and tidy, and everything that involves being a graveyard keeper. You will meet funny and interesting people, and each day of the week has a special person that visits your town. Make sure you keep track of them. The story is actually quite sad if you really think about it, but I like it. Gameplay. Gameplay is everything, guys. It is much like Stardew Valley and many other games in this genre. You start out with very little. A bit of old farm and a graveyard to tidy up. You will be mining rocks and knocking down trees a lot. You'll meet a talking skull who gives you objectives to complete, and a talking donkey who regularly comes to you with fresh corpses for you to perform autopsy on and bury. The autopsy process is kinda, morbid, but you will get used to it. I did. In order to level up your graveyard, you need to bury fresh corpses with as few red skulls on them as possible, and the most white skulls on them. The skulls represent the deeds that the person did when they were alive. If you remove blood and fat, you are able to remove 2 bad deeds. If you remove the heart, on the other hand, that is a gamble. It can go either way. I also actually recommend removing skin and skull because you need that for some quests later on. But if you make a hell of a mess out of the corpse, you can always throw it in the river. Or actually later in the game burn it, so that you still get the burial certificate. So each time you bury a corpse, you get a burial certificate, which is the easiest and best way to make money early in the game. You sell that to the tavern guy in town. Now, I have been addicted to this game. Addicted. It is unputdownable because I love this genre. The constant feeling of progression, satisfying. It has simply been very addicting to me. There is a lot of content for the money that you put into this game. Also, in town in general, there are a lot of merchants and a bunch of people that want specific items, which are the side quests. The side quests are quite difficult sometimes because you need a specific item to craft a specific item to craft a specific item, and so it goes on, and you need that specific workbench to create that specific item. So complex AF crafting system. Very nice. It's so good, so polished. The map is also nice, but I wish you could see on the map where you are. You can't. So actually you need to get to know the environment a bit, but the map is nice. There is a map at least. Some games don't even have maps, Now, the days of the week, which represents a sin, a deadly sin, some being gluttony, pride, wrath. On each of these days, there's one specific key person visiting. I want to say that the most important day is the purple day, which is the ceremony day. It is the only day where you can have prayers in your church, which gives you fate, which are very essential because you need these items later on in the game, definitely. Purple day it is. There's actually dungeons in this game also. Some light fighting where you swing your sword with the X button. I haven't gotten too far into the dungeons because I feel like you kinda need to craft some really good food so that you can keep your health and stamina up for going deeper. So much like how you did it in Stardew Valley actually. There's also fishing, but I can't figure out the fishing. I never get the fish. Need to Google that. There is fishing. There's also farming, which is also important because you need a bunch of carrots. The donkey, not to spoil anything, but the donkey gets pretty tired of bringing you dead bodies after a little while, so he will need 10 carrots each new fresh corpse and body. So farming is also good. You can create and cook a bunch of different good foods for keeping up your stamina and health of the day. Now, the stamina depletes easily, so it is essential to focus on the food portion of this game. You can assign these dishes to the D-pad buttons. So the ceremony that you hold on the purple day basically means that you're holding a prayer in the church, and you also have to level up your church. So there comes a bunch of people and they will donate to the church. So that is also a way of income. Everywhere in this game there are crafting stations. You will want to craft everything to get everything that this game has to offer. Now you can level up your church, so there's actually a church number of quality and also a graveyard number of quality. They are required to have really high later in the game when you get certain quests that require higher levels of your graveyard and church. There's also quite a bit of item management. What I do is that I place specific items that belong to that specific area, whether it is in the basement where you also have a bunch of crafting stations later on, or up in the actual world. When you unlock the study table, you will want to study every single item. You need these ceremony fates to do that. There's also complex alchemy and book creating. You can even create beer and wine. You will have to cut down a lot of lumber logs and ore logs. You can carry one and you can push one. That is what I do. And then you chop the lumber down to planks and you melt the ores down to iron bars, etc. There is basically always something to do. Now you have the technology skill point tree, where you will have to get red, green and blue points. Now the red and green points you get from pretty much everything you do. You get red points from all the crafting you do. You get green points from all the trees that you cut down, let's say, among a bunch of other things. But the blue points, they are the hardest ones to find. Now, what I have found out is that you get the blue points from studying everything that has to do with human flesh, gravestones, etc. Study that down at the study table underneath your church. You'll also unlock all shortcuts after a little bit of a while, connecting all the underground places like the morgue under the church and your basement. And you'll get a shortcut to town underneath there as well. Saves me half of the time. With these technology points, you will unlock more recipes in all of these interesting skill trees. I'm trying to max out everything. That was a long section, okay? Graphics! I think the graphics are gorgeous. Pixel art, it is like the best way to do pixel art graphics. It is a 2D graphical style, obviously, seen from a top-down perspective. It has great lighting effects, actually. When you walk around light posts and other objects, you'll definitely see that. I don't know, I love the graphics. I enjoy them so much. They are very good. It looks very nice, colorful, and everything is very detailed. I like it all. It looks very cute. Music. Amazingly good soundtrack, everyone. It's very, very good, but a bit repetitive. But I like it so much, and you know, friends that are over here watching me play this game, they all go like, wow, that's amazing music, okay? Everyone is saying so. It's very good, a bit repetitive. They could have added a few more tracks, but the tracks that are in the game, they are very good. Verdict! I didn't think I would like this game as much as I do. Even Tiny Hats is playing this like crazy nowadays. I want to say it right here and now, it is actually one of the better eShop games in a long while. I've been craving this genre for quite some time. If you know more games in this genre, please let me know. I love this genre. The game has no time limits, which makes it actually very chill. It doesn't punish you if you take your sweet time with a quest. And like, there's just so many things. This game is so amazing to me. I was very surprised by this title. Now, I have to say as an ending, it can be grindy. It can be a bit difficult to get into. But this is an 8 out of 10 game if you let it. Now, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you have a nice day. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can do that on patreon.com/Ircha. Also follow me on Twitter. Now I want to hear what you think about this game. A lot of people are saying that it is sort of grindy, but it depends on you as a person actually. If you have the time to put a lot of time into this game, it's going to be so sweet. But on the other hand, if you're a very restless gamer, it may not actually be for you. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I will see you later. Bye!